Alrighty guys, welcome to our first lesson for week 5 English. Today we are going to be having a look at personification. So today we are learning to identify and explain personification in a poem so that we can analyze this feature in a poem. So we will be using this again when we are doing our analysis at the end of the term, so that we can break down this feature and we can really understand what is meant by the things that the poet is saying. We'll be successful when we can explain what personification is, find personification in a poem, and create examples of personification ourselves. So let's have a go at that now. So what is personification? Personification is when you give human qualities to an object or an animal, so something that does not usually have human qualities. So an example there is the leaves danced on the wind. Okay, so in that sentence, we have an inanimate object, which is the leaves, and they're doing a human thing, which is dancing. Okay, so in that sense, this is personification. The leaves danced on the wind. They're doing something that a human would do. Okay, and obviously leaves can't actually dance. Okay. Pretty simple. So we're going to have a go at this now. Looking at the next couple of slides, we're going to find out what is being personified. So we're going to find the noun, and then we're going to determine how it is being personified. So what human trait is that thing being given? So like in this example here, we had what? It was the leaves, and what they were doing was dancing. So let's have a look. All right. The city I live in never sleeps. So have a quick look at that. What is the thing that is being personified here, and what is the quality that it is being given? So looking for the noun and the verb there. Awesome, let's see if we got it right. So what is it? It's the city, and the human action is sleep. Okay, so the city I live in never sleeps. City is the thing. Sleeps is what it's doing. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. The wind sang through the trees. Ooh, that sounds very familiar to something that I've read in our poem. Maybe we'll be able to find some of these very easily. The wind sang through the trees. So what is the thing here? And what is that thing being said to be doing that it obviously can't literally do? Quick. Alrighty, let's have a look. So what is the wind and what's it doing? Singing, yeah. So the wind can't actually sing. So to say the wind sang would be to personify it, make it like a person. Awesome, let's do a couple more. That cake is calling my name. Ooh, I feel like cake is calling my name recently. I love me some cake. That cake is calling my name. So what is the thing in this sentence, and what is the thing that it's doing that obviously it cannot do? That looks so yummy. Yep, so the thing is the cake, and what is it doing? Yep, it is calling someone's name. So a cake can't call anyone. So noun is cake, verb is calling. Alrighty, the camera loves her. Oh my goodness, it's like the camera loves me recently in these videos. The camera loves her. So what is the thing? And yep, and what is it doing? Loving. So other than humans, loving is not something that can happen. Okay, so it is given a person trait. Okay, the time raced by as we played outside. Ooh, that's a nice one. I'd like to get back out and playing outside with you guys. The time raced by as we played outside. So there are two different nouns in this sentence, and there are two different actions in this sentence. I want you to find the one that is personification, in that the thing that is doing something cannot do that thing. Okay, so what was the thing that we're thinking about here? Yep, so the thing is time. And what is it doing? It is racing. You might have also seen we played outside. So we being used there to describe the people and then what they're doing. But obviously we as people in this picture, can play. Okay, so that's not personification because we're giving humans a human trait. We already have those. It's personification down here because we're giving time a human trait. Awesome. I'm going to give you a quick little challenge here, and I can see in this image some really cool little hidden shadows. I want you to find 3 of those, and I want you to come up with some way that you can personify those things. So I can see a dog up here. A dog shouldn't be in that tree. Maybe I could make one up and I could say, the dog screamed with delight. Okay, so the dog screaming. Screaming is a human trait. The dog is not a human. Okay, so that's my example there. I want you to find 3 other things that are hidden in this picture, and I want you to send them to me in an email with a personification example attached. The sun smiled down on me. That's a really nice one, and I would think this one's one that you might want to keep in mind because the sun is something that I associate with our focus text, the open sea. So maybe we could keep this one in mind if we have to come up with an example relating to our poem. The sun smiled down on me. What is the thing? Yep, it's the sun. And what is it doing? Smiling. Okay, so looking at The Open Sea by Dorothea McKellar, we are going to have a quick look through now, finding the personification that we can see. Then we are going to go over here, practice doing the activities that you are going to have to do on yours, and then I will let you go do that. Okay, so what we're going to do is I am going to read through this. What I would love for you to do is try and pick out the personification when I say it. So remembering that personification is when you give a human trait to this something that is not human. So an inanimate object or an animal. Okay. From my window I can see where the sandhills dip, one far glimpse of open sea, just a slender slip, curving like the crescent moon, yet a greater prize than the harbor garden fair spread beneath my eyes. Okay. Did you hear any personification in that one? Nope, I don't think I did either. Let's have a look at the next stanza. Just below me swings the bay, sings a sunny tune, but my heart is far away, out beyond the June. Clearer far the seagulls cry, and the breakers roar, than the little waves beneath, lapping on the shore. Did you hear some there? Alrighty, I heard some there as well. So, having a look at the nouns in this, we are talking about the bay, we are talking about a heart, we are talking about a June, we are talking about seagulls, we are talking about breakers, we are talking about waves, and the shore. Okay, so let's have a look if Dorothea McKellar has said that any of these things do anything that only humans can do. So just below me swings the bay. Do you think swings the bay might be one? Yep. Bays don't swing. Sings a sunny tune. So sings a sunny tune is still referring to the bay. So again, bays cannot sing. But my heart is far away. So is the heart here doing something that I can't be doing? No, because far away is not really a human trait, is it? So I'm going to unhighlight that one. Yep. Out beyond the June. So that's still talking about the heart. The heart is saying it's out beyond the June, but that's not really a human trait. So that's not personification because it's not making it seem like a person. Clear far the seagulls cry. So here it's talking about cry as in a sound that they make, but cry is a human sound, isn't it? So maybe we'll highlight that one. And the breakers roar. Roar is one that's a little bit tricky. I want you to have a think about this one, because remembering that personification is when you give them abilities or actions that only a human can have. Is roar what you would consider a human action? If you think it is, then you would highlight this one as personification, the breakers roar. If you think it's not, because it's more of an animal trait, then you would not highlight this as personification, because it's not making the waves seem like a person, it's making the waves seem like an animal. for onomatopoeia reasons. Okay. Then the little waves beneath lapping on the shore. So it says the waves are lapping on the shore. Waves can lap. So we discussed what lapping was, which is just the little action of when they just brush up against the shore over and over and over again. And that is not a human trait, that is a wave trait. So I'm going to unhighlight that, and let's go on and see if we find any more personification. For that strip of sapphire sea set against the sky, far horizons means to me, and the ships go by. Framed between the empty sky and the yellow sands, while my freed thoughts follow them out to other lands. Okay, so I heard one or two in there as well. We know that sapphire sea is a metaphor, so that can't be personification. So the sapphire sea is set against the sky. Set is not really a human action, so that's not going to be personification. Far horizons means to me. So the horizons is a thing there. Is means to me a human action? No, probably not. And the ships go by. Going by, is that a human action? Not really, but it's saying that the ships are doing it. So maybe this could be personification because ships can't go by themselves. What do you think? I want you to have a think about that independently based on our definition of what personification is and the practice that we did earlier. Do you think ships go by would be personification, or do you think ships go by would not be personification because ships can go by themselves? Framed beneath the empty sky and the yellow sands, while my freed thoughts follow them out to other lands. Okay, so thoughts here is the thing that we are talking about. Can thoughts follow things? No, they can't. Can humans follow things? Yes, they can. So, my freed thoughts follow them would be personification because it is making your thoughts seem like a person that can do something, which is to follow. What I would like you to do now is I would like you to go through this side and I want you to highlight any others that you can see. Then we will come back together and see what you found. Alrighty, so I've had a look through these other ones and this is what I have highlighted. I have highlighted when the livid waters flee, flinching from the storm. Because remember we discussed that flee means to run away. And flinching is when you sort of hide from something that is going to hurt you. So you flinch away so that you don't get hurt. Again, both of those things are human things and water cannot do that. So that is personification there. The only other one that I highlighted on this side was this down here. And this is one that I would like you to open up for argument. So you can discuss this with the people that are around you if you have anybody else at home with you today. My blue moon of open sea, is it little worth? At the least it gives to me keys of all the earth. So this is one where it goes over a couple of lines, but the what is the open sea, and the action is giving to me. I want you to have a think about whether you think giving is a human trait. So whether Dorothea McKellar is giving the trait of giving to the open sea here. So that one's up for you to decide. That can be another one that's a bit on the fence, whether you think that one should be highlighted or not. Okay, so we have finished identifying the personification in the poem. So we are going to come over here now and we are going to have a look at creating our own example of personification that the author could have used. So what I need you to do is I need you to think of some things that we know relate to the sea that we could then personify. So remembering our examples, the things that Dorothea McKellar personified were the bay, seagulls, thoughts, water, and the sea itself. Okay, so having a quick think about some things that we know are associated with the beach or the ocean, and coming up with some ways that we could personify those to make the author or the reader feel a certain way. So I'm going to give you a second now to have a look. I'm going to have a go at creating my own, and then we can come back and talk about what your job is. So this is what I came up with, guys. The things that I thought of that associated with the beach were waves and the sun. So what I've done here is I have had one that is the waves pulling at my feet. So I would like that example. That would be like you are standing in the water and the waves are hitting down and trying to pull you up to sea. Okay, I think that meets the mood and the tone of the story, as well as meeting the focus of the poem, which is obviously the ocean. And then my second one is a kiss of the sun. I'm not sure if you would have heard this one before. It's sort of a common expression in my circles because this happens to me all the time. A kiss of the sun means to get sunburned. So obviously this isn't a literal thing because the sun can't physically come down and kiss you. But to say a kiss of the sun would be to personify the sun as something that can come down and kiss. And what that means is to just get sunburned. Okay, so this is something that I hear all the time because, haha, my lovely skin does not like the sun. But that's just a nice way to put that you got sunburnt. Okay, so I think that matches this as well in my experience. So making a text to self connection, whenever I'm at the sea, I get sunburnt. So this is a good example for me. Can you please come up with 2 examples here that match the open sea? Send them to me in an email, and then you can get started with your activity. So your activity today is to go through your sheet. You are not going to be doing this section here. You are going to be identifying all of the personification in the text. So just like we did, go through and highlight or underline, whatever you want to do, the examples of personification in your text. And then you're going to come down here to this bottom section over here and come up with 4 examples of personification that match the mood and tone and purpose of your poem. Alrighty, happy writing, guys.